And a very happy Monday to you at 12:08 in the West. It's the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
John, this weekend, Bernie Sanders had Bernie Fest in downtown Los Angeles. And before Bernie and AOC went to speak, a lot of local California politicians made their voice heard in front of the big crowd. And as we have noticed in the last few months, the new motto is to really make sure people know that you care about what you're saying. You've got to be cursing, as evidenced by Ulysses Hernandez.
They want you to blame trans folks for your troubles, blame unhoused people for the housing crisis, blame anyone but the people actually profiting from our pain. You know what I say to that? Bull.
Whoa.
It was also evidenced by Isabel Urado.
And just this week, we saw federal agents show up at our schools coming after our kids. That!
They're really non-talented dirty club comics.
But of course, the filthiest mouth that took the stage at the Bernie Sanders rally wasn't a current politician, but more of a former one, as former Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, who is now the head of the California Federation of Labor, took the stage for 6 minutes of nothing but swear words.
All right, brothers and sisters, are there some union members in the house? Yeah. So my name is Lorena Gonzalez, and I am proud to be the president of the California Federation of Labor Unions, representing 2.3 million workers in California who are unionized, and countless more who want a union.
Lorena effing Gonzalez, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, when she says that she wants a bleeping union, does that just mean people really want a union, or is she trying to unionize the porno actors?
Well, if she unionizes the sex workers, then that would be a bleeping union.
And countless more who want a union.
Unionize Figueroa.
Well, she's going to get some pushback from the pimps if she tries to unionize the prostitutes.
I'm on the side of the baristas and the warehouse workers and the gig workers and the academic workers and the nurses and every worker that is organizing for a union. Not on the side of corporations like SpaceX and Starbucks and Amazon, who are in court right now trying to take away our inalienable right to form a union and collectively bargain. No, I'm with the workers.
It's Flora the Red Effin' Menace.
And she just kept on going. Could you imagine being married to this?
No. If I was married to that and I lived in San Diego, I'd go on a long walk down a short pier.
And so when you're asked, what side are you on? We have a simple answer in organized labor as well. When they come for us, when they investigate us, when they threaten us and harass us, we say, I'm not afraid. I'm sticking with the union. Yeah.
Okay, do you think she swears like this just all the time?
Yes.
So she pulls her car up to the drive-thru at the McDonald's, and they say, what would you like, ma'am? And she goes, give me 3 effing Happy Meals, 4 bleeping Cokes, 3 GD apple pies.
Yeah.
All right, close us home strong, Lorena Gonzalez.
All right, so I could not leave without my favorite chant. This is going to take a lot of fighting, all of us together, collectively fighting what is happening in Washington now. Because when we fight, let's go fight.
Lorena Dice Clay.
that's just a little sampling of the big old rally in downtown L.A. this weekend.
She needs to wash her mouth out with soap, and then after she's done with the soap, she needs to give it to the sex worker she wants to unionize.
Let's go fight!
Wait, which one do you want to do?
Whoa. Well, I guess there are two options there.
Let's go fight!
What do you think Bernie thought about all this? Because he's about 900 years old.
This was all going on in the pregame show. I don't even think he had showed up yet.
Do you think he would be appalled if he was waiting backstage and that's what he heard? Because I don't recall him having a potty mouth. He's one of the few ones that doesn't swear.
He's old and he's cantankerous, but he does not use the swears.
If I was a politician and I'm sitting in the green room and I hear that on the loudspeaker before I go out there, I don't know how happy I'd be.
Now, of course, I don't have any clips of Bernie Sanders' speech because, and this is true, going back 30 years, if you've heard one Bernie Sanders speech in your life, you've heard every Bernie Sanders speech in your life. Doesn't really change the material.
Did you see him out there in the Dodgers hat that was worn incorrectly?
And then who sent Bernie to Coachella?
They should have given him a Brooklyn Dodgers hat.
Nothing was stranger to me than the Democrat socialist senator going out to what is one of the most corporate, expensive capitalist events there is, the Coachella Music and Arts Festival, with $100 hot dogs to talk about the millionaires and the billionaires.
Well, he's 900 years old and they love Palm Springs.
Let's go fight!
Well, there you have it. The new and improved edition of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. What are you going to do? 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Well, we know in California that tomorrow is Election Day in Oakland, where voters will have an opportunity to replace disgraced former Mayor Sheng Thao.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Statewide, California's insurance market is in crisis because the regulations regarding the insurance industry have failed to keep that industry healthy in the Golden State.
I'm very kind of sketchy.
So one of the things that we did over the weekend is we went back into the Wayback Machine and we tried to figure out just exactly how we missed this. How is it that in a state that has access to technology, where the internet is at your fingertips, whether it be on a laptop, a smartphone, a desktop, whatever the case may be, we have more access to information than we ever have in human history, and somehow we elected two totally incompetent buffoons to extremely critical roles, and they failed, of course, and none of us saw it coming.
Well, this is California. Since when do qualifications matter for anything? What you got to understand about the election of Ricardo Lara to the insurance commissioner seat is that it was historic, John.
That's right. As dumb as the average voter is, they're not any dumber than the news media that covered those races and gave you the exact wrong information about each of these two politicians.
When Ricardo Lara was sworn in as insurance commissioner in early 2019, there was a piece done by ABC 10 in Sacramento that is usually a pretty good station when it comes to oversight on the awfulness of Sacramento. And it turned out to be a puff piece about how important Ricardo Lara's election was and had no mention of insurance in a story about an insurance commissioner.
No, the people of California had to elect an insurance commissioner, so we were told all about him being gay.
For more, here is a throwback to an ABC 10 report from 2019.
Celebration.
Are we out of champagne glasses?
Would you please join us?
It's almost like it set the tone for the entire run of his office ship.
Oh, yeah, booze and celebration.
Would you please join us in recognizing our
Insurance Commissioner for the state of California.
I guarantee most of the people at that party didn't even know what an insurance commissioner was.
Oh, I don't even think they voted.
It's a day worth celebrating.
No, it wasn't.
No, that was the beginning of the end, dear.
It's a day worth celebrating. The accomplishments of this man, Ricardo Lara.
What are the accomplishments? Do you want to talk about his record in the state Senate where he legalized illegal street vending?
And what else? Anything related to insurance?
Nope.
The accomplishments of this man, Ricardo Lara. But everyone here is also celebrating history in the making.
Oh, wait, he's actually the first, to be in state office as an openly gay man. That was crazy.
What does that have to do with insurance?
It has nothing to do with insurance. The only thing that means regarding insurance is you're never going to catch him in the back seat with Flo from Progressive.
He's more into Jake from State Farm, is what you're saying?
Possibly.
That was crazy to me. But it was exciting to just know him.
Ricardo Lara.
It was exciting to know him because he's the first gay statewide elected. Does he have any qualifications for this job that he's so historic for?
On what planet does that statement make sense?
Unfortunately, until we correct the behavior and the first step is addressing it and identifying it, this is how Californians have voted for a very long time. It's not about the qualifications for the job. It's that you're the first something to do it.
But it was exciting to just know him.
Ricardo Lara, formerly a state senator, is now California's 8th insurance commissioner. And he's the first state elected official to be openly gay.
We are here to say we are part of the community. We fight for you every single day.
Lara's message for the...
What does that have to do with insurance?
He sold us out to the insurance industry.
Lara's message for the...
Well, tickets to DJ Kitty Glitter aren't cheap.
Lara's message for the room: remain vigilant and keep fighting for what is right.
It's a great day for our LGBTQ plus community to demonstrate that as an openly gay man, you can get elected statewide in California.
But what are your qualifications for the job you just got?
I love the fact that knowing anything about the insurance industry is just not regarded as relevant.
You would think it would have happened before, but it just happened today, and so I'm honored.
Earlier today, Judge Von Walker swore Lara in. It's significant because Judge Walker found Prop 8 unconstitutional, allowing same-sex couples to marry in the state.
I couldn't think of a better person who really encapsulates the courage and tenacity to do what's right.
Does ABC 10 know what his job is?
It seems like no one cared at all that he knew nothing about insurance.
It didn't matter.
Do what's right, even when it's not popular.
Lara is proud, and so are his colleagues and friends.
I'm fascinated by his story. I think that it's exciting that he's making history.
I wonder if she's been dropped from her policy.
And I just had to be here. So today's actually our first day back to school. I'm a teacher. And I took the day off to be here because this was more important.
A teacher took the day off to go to Ricardo Lara's I'm Insurance Commissioner party.
That tells you everything you need to know about the state of public education.
Because this was more important. It's history.
This really does break, essentially, a pink sea.
I know who that is.
I do too.
It's Rick Chavez Zabur from 2019. Don't do the Joyce vote, Johnny. Don't do it.
No, he sounds like Lucille Ball in her final years if she had an iron lung.
This really does break, essentially, a pink ceiling for our community, and it really tells kids.
It really has reflected well in the gay community, too. The first gay insurance commissioner was also the worst insurance commissioner we've ever had.
He broke right through that pink ceiling, and now you can't even call it into your insurance company to make a claim because you'd get dropped to have it fixed.
From, all over the state, that they can be whatever they want to be if they just work hard and put their mind to it.
Tonight is Lara.
Okay, so that's nothing but a bucket full of cliches, but notice how we're almost done with the story, and not once has anything about insurance been mentioned in the inauguration of the insurance commissioner.
You think he sang in the choir in school?
all over the state, that they can be whatever they want to be if they just work hard and put their mind to it.
Tonight, as Lara steps into his new role, he hopes it's just the beginning of more equality and acceptance for the LGBTQ community in politics.
Be yourself, love yourself, know that you can follow and pursue your dreams just like I did.
Was this party at the Abbey?
In Sacramento, Madison.
Apparently it was in Sacramento.
Well, he didn't care about insurance. The reporters covering him in that campaign for insurance commissioner didn't seem to care. And now we're in a place where none of us can buy insurance.
I'm very kind of sketchy.
Oh, we know. And they did the same thing with Sheng Thao.
They did. When she got elected as mayor of Oakland, nobody talked about her record on the city council or what she wanted to do for the city of Oakland. It was all about her historic journey.
History was made this year when Oakland's new mayor was sworn into office. CBS's Nancy Chen has her incredible story of perseverance as we celebrate Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Oh, boy.
The worst mayor in the history of Oakland, and that's what CBS focused on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who cares if she's incompetent? She was the first Hmong.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, if you want to go back and listen to Friday's episode, which we performed live over at Gladstone's in Long Beach, it's now up on the website, and you can enjoy the podcast.
All you got to do is search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's the Apple Podcasts app,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
the iHeart app,
And he said absolutely.
Spotify,
At the end of the day,
or anywhere that you get your podcasts.
Absolutely.
We told you that when California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara was elected to that statewide constitutional office, we were told by the news media all about him being a historic politician because he was the first gay statewide elected office holder. They didn't really say much about his qualifications as insurance commissioner, and of course, since he was elected, that industry has melted down. Another complete failure here in California is former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao.
What are you talking about?
that's what a mayor do.
After being elected mayor in the city of Oakland, national CBS, the big CBS, the network, did a profile on her. And Randy, they didn't tell the public that she doesn't know anything either.
They didn't know, but she was historic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This was back in early 2023. As Mayor Thao was getting sworn in, she got a national profile from CBS Evening News.
History was made this year when Oakland's new mayor was sworn into office. CBS's Nancy Chen has her incredible story of perseverance as we celebrate Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
One of the first things you notice about Sheng Thao is her enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah, that's the first thing you notice.
Hey, you know what? Credit where credit's due. My baby is always enthusiastic.
Oakland Bees!
I guess.
And we still got our Oakland A's, baby.
No, you don't.
The charter of the city of Oakland.
Oh, no.
I can tell she was very professional starting from day one.
Enthusiasm.
And the charter of the city of Oakland.
A swearing-in ceremony she could never have imagined.
Congratulations.
She gets sworn in by Bonta?
It sounded like it.
Oh, great. So you got to look at that picture right there. When Sheng Thao gets sworn in as mayor of Oakland, look what we know now. The reason she got that job was because of the Dong family. And who's swearing her in? The Dong's biggest recipient of all their donations, Rob Bonta.
One complete disgrace swearing in another.
Congratulations.
What were you thinking about? Hmong people flew in from all over the country to join me on Inauguration Day. It was a journey that I took with the whole Hmong community.
Her family's journey.
What does that have to do with the city of Oakland?
I wonder what they think of her performance now.
Her family's journey began when her parents fled Laos in 1975.
My parents are refugees, and all I knew was that we were poor and it was hard.
This graduation photo was taken after Thao escaped an abusive relationship, lived in a car,
and then got into a new abusive relationship
with a guy who's currently being charged by the feds, too.
Remember that whole deal where at the inauguration party, he brought his ex-girlfriend to specifically piss Sheng off?
Wait, I thought he brought the current girlfriend to specifically piss her off.
The details are murky, but at some point, the made-for-TV movie is going to come out about this whole scandal.
Oh, I'll watch.
Lived in a car with her young son and stood in line for free food.
You always hear about
So how come we're only saying that she was the first Hmong mayor? Why don't we say she was the first homeless mayor?
That's a very good point.
You always hear about starving students, but what do people actually do about it?
What she did was run for city council.
You can't do this work without feeling empathy, and you shouldn't do this work if you don't have that empathy.
Have we heard anything about anything positive she did for the city of Oakland?
Nope. And how much empathy did she have for the people of Oakland when she was denying them honest government?
And he said, absolutely.
Today,
hey, she was just getting hers.
Today, as mayor, the 37-year-old is leading a large and troubled city. Her mission, to make it better for the next generation. That includes her son, Ben. Now 16, he performed at her inauguration.
Is that the one that she says someone broke into her house while the son was home alone?
Yeah. He was home by himself. She was somewhere else, and there was a home invasion robbery.
What message do you hope that people take away from your story?
Mainly that hope is everything.
I miss her.
Look at me. I'm standing up here.
Nancy Chen, CBS News.
So that story had nothing to do with the city of Oakland, how it is run, how she was going to improve the city, but was all about her historic run.
They don't even care if they're qualified. It's not even like they presented evidence, so they said, okay, well, this is a woman who has helped balance the city budget. She helped reduce the rate of crime in the city when she was on the council. She helped negotiate contracts with the unions. It gave taxpayers a break for once. None of that was brought up.
I don't even think they investigated. They don't know what she did on the city council. They have no idea.
No, but just like with Ricardo Lara, they don't even regard it as relevant. And then they wonder how you end up with a city in complete crisis and the mayor being charged with federal crimes.
Oh my God, they melted the basketball court.
It almost breeds corruption. When you know that the nuts and bolts of what you're doing in office is not regarded as being relevant, you can do anything you want.
Do you want me to go look up all of the news that came out when Gavin appointed Rob Bonta to be Attorney General, and it was all about how he's the first AAPI Attorney General?
Oh, I'm sure it was the same thing.
No looking into that past, huh?
He's the assemblyman from Oakland.
Here we go.
What could he point to as an accomplishment?
I just did a quick Google search on the YouTube for Rob Bonta first, and the first thing that comes up is CBS Sacramento. Let's pull it up.
And also breaking this afternoon, Governor Newsom is nominating Alameda Assembly member Rob Bonta to be the next California Attorney General.
And if confirmed, he becomes the first Filipino-American Attorney General.
Of course, because that's what matters.
This is beyond parody.
What were Rob Bonta's qualifications to be the top cop in the state of California? Well, that doesn't matter because he's the first Filipino to do it.
It's wild. And they do this over and over and over again, and they never learn from their mistakes.
I got to find, I don't know if anyone has this, but part of Isabel Urado's campaign to replace Kevin De Leon in the LA City Council was she'd be the first bi member of the city council.
She's bi.
Now she says she's queer.
Well, with the corruption on that council, I think they're all buy. And by that, I mean, if you buy them stuff, they'll give you whatever you want.
She's also the first teen mom member of the city council.
Well, let's put that on the evening news, too. You know, every so often when you get something wrong professionally, you need a little self-reflection where you go back and you say, okay, we did these pieces about the insurance commissioner being elected, all about him being gay, and he didn't know anything about insurance, and now that industry is melting down. Maybe, oh maybe, there was something we could change. If we could go back and do it again, maybe we would have said something about insurance. Just maybe. But no, that never happens. They just move on to the next one. Oakland's got a new mayor. Does she know anything about crime? Does she know anything about budgets? Does she know anything about homelessness? Who cares? She's Hmong.
Like, don't waste our time. We have a whole city to run.
It's just unreal. As we mentioned before, the news really didn't say much about Ricardo Lara's qualifications or Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao's qualifications when they were elected. They just told you that they were the first. Well, Sheng was recalled from office after the people of Oakland realized she was corrupt and incompetent. Now the people of Oakland get to pick her replacement, and apparently nobody's voting.
Turnout is very low so far for the recall special election to replace Sheng Thao. For more on the last day to turn in your votes, here's KPIX.
Now, there are only 2 days left to decide Oakland's next mayor.
Yet voter turnout so far is pretty low. Out of the 250,000 ballots mailed out this special election, only 45,000 people have returned them, and that's a rate of about 18%.
That means that your vote counts way more than you think it does.
I love the fact that that city is in crisis. It might go bankrupt, and no one seems to care.
This is the same thing in every major city. Outside of certain pockets, like San Francisco has fairly high voter turnout, especially that recall election when they kicked out the school board in Chesa. San Diego has good high voter turnout. Orange County has huge high voter turnout. But L.A. County, you want to know how we get the government we get? Nobody shows up to the polls. And apparently in Oakland, it's the same thing.
Well, if nobody votes, that's probably good news for Barbara Lee because she's been around a long time and she has really high name ID. But if that's the woman they picked to replace Sheng, they're just collectively saying, let's just push this car off a cliff to see what'll happen.
Quite frankly.
Well, and if you don't want to see Oakland go down that road, if you're someone who wants to see maybe Lauren Taylor take over that position, well, now's the time to organize. You got 24 hours because those votes are going to count way more than they would have if everyone showed up.
Yeah, you definitely need to fill that out and turn it in.
The two frontrunners, Barbara Lee and Lauren Taylor, getting out the vote across the city, urging supporters to turn in their ballots.
Come on down!
What is this, The Price is Right?
No, Rod Roddy's dead. Is that woman running to be his replacement?
Come on down!
She's the lady at the drive-thru turn in your ballot place.
I see.
With just a couple of days left, those ballot boxes are still looking light. Only 18% of voters have returned their ballots.
Frankly, disappointed with the turnout.
It's so close, Lauren. So close.
Frankly, disappointed with the turnout. It's a dismal number. Democracy thrives when everyone participates.
Increase in the turnout. We have many people out in the streets canvassing, knocking on doors.
That's why
people love that. People love when you knock on their doors and bother them, as evidenced by Kamala not winning in November.
Oh, yeah. You know what else we love? When you fall asleep on an airplane and they wake you up to sell you the credit card.
Wow, we got almost through the whole first hour before you took a shot at American Airlines.
I didn't mention them by name. They all do that.
The turnout. We have many people out in the streets canvassing, knocking on doors.
That's why the two frontrunners and their volunteers are hitting neighborhoods across the city, drumming up enthusiasm and support.
Hi, how are you, sir? Lauren Taylor, candidate for mayor.
Lauren Taylor lost in the last mayoral race by just 677 votes.
Turnout matters.
Nobody voted in that election either, and that's how we ended up with Sheng.
Well, and you got to remember, the Bay Area works pretty differently. Oakland has had this ranked choice voting thing for a while now, so part of the reason some people might stay home is it's very confusing how your vote is counted.
Yeah, when you have ranked choice voting, what you end up with is some random person being elected mayor, which is how we ended up with Sheng.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And if you have a very wide field, which you typically do for mayoral elections, you really end up with a totally random person.
There are a lot of gadflies running. Maybe one of them will be the mayor.
Maybe if turnout's low enough, someone's pet horse will get elected.
We can't take it for granted, right? Every vote matters.
Both candidates believe whoever can motivate their base will likely win in what's expected to be a low turnout special election. The elections office reports about 45,000 ballots have been returned. By comparison, in November, more than 140,000 people voted in the recall.
See, that's fascinating to me. How many people voted to recall Sheng Thao compared to how many people who voted in that recall who have yet to vote to replace Sheng Thao?
You know, when you come back and you look at just exactly what happened during the election that gave us the awful government that we receive, it's not as if there weren't warning signs.
And in the 2022 mayoral election, around 125,000 Oakland voters cast their ballots.
We have more than 200 volunteers that are coming out this weekend to go knock on doors, call their neighbors, make sure that people not only understand what's at stake and vote Lauren Taylor number one, but also...
Yeah, they're doing ranked choice voting again.
But also make sure those ballots get turned in.
Meanwhile, over in the East Lake neighborhood, Barbara Lee spoke to churchgoers at a Palm Sunday service at the Church of All Faiths.
I want to be your mayor because I want to fight for Oakland.
She never heard that before.
That's what that city needs, more empty cliches.
She urged people to reach out to family and friends to vote.
We are at a crossroads. This city can go forwards or backwards, and I want...
Boy, she is nothing but cliches. She's the fairy godmother of cliches.
She's almost 80 years old, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So she's giving us the same cliches as Rob Bonta, only she sounds tired doing it.
Well, you got to understand, Barbara Lee is so old that they weren't cliches when she first said them 70 years ago.
No, it was new and fresh back then.
And I want to move us forward together for a united Oakland.
From the church to a rally.
It's like she copy and pasted her original campaign from 20 years ago.
From the church to a rally in front of City Hall, the longtime Congresswoman reiterated her ability to unite different groups to work toward a common goal.
What does that mean?
It means nothing.
We've got to increase our crime prevention efforts, strengthen ceasefire.
Yes, that means more life coaches for gang members. That'll do it.
Her entire platform is doubling down on everything Sheng did.
Make sure that our neighborhoods are safe by investing in ambassadors and non-sworn officers.
Here we go. You can stop this. If you're in Oakland, you can vote and make sure this isn't your mayor. Because I got bad news for you. Sheng Thao 2.0 isn't as funny as Sheng Thao 1.0.
And he said absolutely.
No, she's not. And Oakland voters, every red light is blinking right now, right in front of your face.
Quite frankly.
Don't screw this one up.